In Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna tells about the qualities of his devotees. He says, Madchitta, Madgata Prana, Bodhayantaha, Parasparam, Kathayantascha, Mam Nityam, Tushyanti Charamanti Cha. Which means, how are my devotees? My devotees are those whose entire being is invested in me, Madchittaha. All their entire inner core, chitta, is invested in me. It means I only reside within them. In every thought, in every emotion, I alone am. Madchitta, Madgata Prana. I am their very life breath. Without me, they cannot live even a day. Even for a day, it's not possible for them to survive without thinking of me, serving me, loving me, worshipping me. That is their nature. Bodhayanta Parasparam. What do they talk when they meet? They do not talk about World Cup. They do not talk about the issues in the world wars or wars going on. They do not talk about stock markets. They do not talk about how good you have dressed today or what has happening in our classroom. Their only discussion is when they meet is, what did Swami say? What did Sri Krishna say? What did he do? What did we learn today? How are we going to practice what he taught us? These are the conversations that they have. No gossips, no unnecessary loose talk. Bodhayanta Parasparam. All the time they are talking and teaching about what I have taught them. And then, Kathayantascha Mam Nityam, Tushyanti Charamanti. They talk about me all the time. And in that they find satisfaction, in that they find their joy. Their joy comes only by talking, thinking, serving, loving God and nothing else. Their joy and their happiness and their satisfaction comes from that. So what about all the studies? Should that not make you happy? What about the games? What about the music and other things? They all should make you happy because all this should be done with the attitude of doing it for God's sake. So your studies are also an offering to the divine. Your games are also offering to the divine. Your prayers are also offering to the divine. Even the way you dress up, the way you eat, the way you talk, think, speak, act, everything is an offering to the divine. Everything is done with devotion. That is the hallmark of my devotees. So that kind of devotion is what God truly loves. And as he was saying, it's not given to all. It's not given to all to worship God, to love God, to be devoted to God, to be even attracted to God. Look at Sri Rama. Most majestic, most beautiful avatar, they say. But he also had haters and he also had people who never could understand his divinity and were against him. So it is not given to everybody to love God and to be devoted to God. It is given to very few people, Kaschid Dira. It is very few people who have this special blessing and privilege to be attracted to God and godly things, to be devoted to God, to be living a life in service of God. It's not given to all. So if you think that it is very common because in the ashram seems like everybody is living the same way, this ashram is an exception. This is not a general world. Billions of people do not have any interest in God. They don't have interest in any godly thing. They have no interest in devotion or good things. They are very interested in making merry and enjoying life and making best of whatever time they have by having pleasures of life. That is their general life. In the world, the biggest religion today is atheism. People are becoming atheistic by the day because they don't find their answers and they don't find satisfaction in the structured religion. They don't have any answers for their queries and questions and doubts, and nobody answers them also. Plus, in general, materialism is so strong at this point in time that the only way they think happiness will come to them is get more money, buy more gadgets, bigger house, more friends, more parties, more fun. This is how they think of joy and happiness in life. So all their time and energy is spent on that. Why? Again, I would say that is not totally their fault because God has created us like that. That is what the Upanishad says. Our senses have been created. Eyes want to see new things, attractive things, very tempting things. Ears want to hear loose talks, new news, and new and variety of things. Tongue wants to taste all kinds of things. Nose wants to smell all kinds of things. Hands want to touch all kinds of things. That is how this has been created. This is a game of God where He has created the senses in such a way that they do not want to turn inwards, that is towards God. They generally want to run behind the world. That's how it has been created. That is the first rule of the game, that all your senses are actually working against you, not for you. So those who are devoted to God, they are very exceptional people. Kaschit dhira, kaschit means somebody, someone amongst thousands and thousands of people, they get attracted to the idea of spirituality and God. It's not given to everybody. In fact, if you start talking about God to those people, they all will start yawning and feeling that it's a boredom and it's a torture to sit even in a gathering where they're talking about God. They get very bored very quickly because they have this nature of worldliness. They cannot be attracted to God. And the other side, we have godly people. You talk to them about the world, they get very jittery. They cannot hear another word about worldly things. They want to only join the company of the good. That is the nature of the mind of those people. So generally the mind is outward going only. It wants new things, new experiences, new excitements, and all that it wants to experience through all the senses. And that is the idea of the world. So only good and godly people have the capacity to turn inwards, and that is possible because they have developed this habit or this particular interest over several lifetimes of association with good people. Tell me your company, I shall tell you what you are. The kind of company you keep is truly the reflection of the kind of person you are. Birds of the same feather flock together. Worldly people will go to worldly parties and they only love that. And they can go on and on without getting bored or tired. Spiritual people only want spiritual things. They cannot deal with the world at all because they are only interested in spirituality. But my way is the middle path. I say turn the world towards God. Turn all your worldly activities in a godly way. Why should you serve? Why should you study? Study for the sake of God so that when you become qualified, you can serve others. Why should you earn money? Earn money so that you can offer it to God. With that, you can serve many more people. Why should you dress up well? Because you want to present yourself in the best way possible to God and show respect and love to God that way. Why should you talk softly, sweetly, nicely? Because God is in others, and therefore my senses, my tongue should not be causing any harm or hurt to anyone. Why should you restrain yourself from engaging in unwanted, unnecessary activities? Because that energy which is within me, which we heard that this is Devi, this is pure godly energy, I want to use it in a proper way, and that is the way I will show respect to divinity within me. So in everything they will find a reason how to turn that towards God, how to, orient it back towards God, even if it's going outside. This ability is that of a spiritual hero. Dhira is a spiritual hero who is capable of this, who is not dragged by his senses in whatever direction it takes them. He is capable of controlling the reins of his senses and turning it the way he wants or she wants. So that is the idea in our scripture of Dhira. Otherwise, heroes, generally celebrated heroes are the cinema poster heroes. They are not real heroes at all. They are total zeros. But the whole cinematography and the narrative is such that they all look like heroes and heroines. Then other heroes are national heroes, you would say, who went and fought the war and independence and got us our freedom. Or the heroes at the borders who are fighting enemies and winning wars and protecting the country. Or you can call many other social heroes out there who have done so much for the society and the betterment of the world. All kinds of heroes we worship. But our scriptures call only those as real heroes who have the courage and the capacity to turn their senses inwards and keep them under their control and not be dragged and pulled by senses in all directions. But they should be able to pull the senses back into wherever they want. But this path is not given to all. Again, that is also told in our scriptures, because kaschit dhira. Some people only get this ability. All do not get this ability. So if you find difficult to turn your senses inwards or develop interest in spiritual things or develop interest in godly things, you have some work to do still on yourself. That is a pursuit, that is an effort that you must put for the betterment of yourself and for the betterment of all those who are around you. And how can you do that? Stay in good company. Satsangatve nisangatvam. With good company starts detachment or company of none. From the company of good people, you will develop the company of none, in the sense you don't need anybody to keep you happy. You're happy with yourself. Bad company will make you also like them. When dust makes friendship with water, it goes down. When dust makes friendship with air, it goes up. Dust is same, but its friendship is what makes the difference. So the kind of people you stay with, the kind of people you move around with, the kind of people you engage with, that will define what you become at the end. It's as simple as that. So the most important thing is to keep the company of good people, godly people who are interested in good things and godly things. And when you see people or meet people and have to deal with people who are non-godly, not very spiritual, it's better to go away from there. Because if you think you will conquer somehow and you will transform them, also some of our students tell this to me. Swami, I want to go during holidays, and you told me to go and talk to people about God and God good things, and I want to do that, and I want to transform all of them. I tell them, first you transform yourself. Because if you see, when you become a magnet, permanent magnet, not temporary magnet. Right now, most of us are temporary magnets because we are in the presence of a powerful magnet, a super magnet. So we all become magnetized and we all behave like magnets. The moment you distance yourself from this company of good people, which is the big magnet, all worldly ideas will start coming, all the things get disoriented again. You become a piece of iron. A piece of iron cannot go and transform another piece of iron into magnet. Only a permanent magnet can do that. So I tell our students, first you transform yourself. You develop that strength to stay steady. You develop that conviction in good and godly things. You grow spiritually as strong. You become a spiritual hero. Then go out anywhere. Don't worry. Nobody can touch you. Nobody can trouble you. Nobody can distract you or tempt you. Because you have already transformed yourself into magnet. There is no way you can become an iron piece again. No way you can get rusted again. Even if you are put in water, even if you put in air, you will never get rusted because magnets cannot get rusted. Only iron pieces will get rusted. So that is the idea of spiritual transformation. Only spiritual heroes are capable of this. So spiritual heroes are those who stay steady. Most important thing, they are in control of their mind and senses. Mind and senses are not in control of them. That is the idea of spiritual hero, which he was talking about. But Sri Krishna also very, very much says in Bhagavad Gita that Manushyanam sahastreshu kashchit yateti siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kashchit maam veti tatvataha. Which means out of thousands and thousands of people, only few take to the spiritual path. It's not that they never came across spiritual people. They came across spiritual people. They went to spiritual places. They went to satsang, read good books, even studied in Sathya Sai Lokaseva Gurukulam, let us say, for some years. But yet they have not continued their pursuit of spirituality. So out of thousands of people, only few develop this ability to continue pursuing God. And out of those who continue walking on this path, only if somebody gets to know me in totality, says Krishna. Tatvataha. Tatvataha means in principle, completely. He gets to know who I am. Who I am is what divinity is. So don't be very assured that just because you landed in this place and you become a part of the satsang or the institutions, it's a guarantee that you will at the end find the truth and divinity. No guarantee. The effort has to be from your side. God will only help you if you make efforts. So spiritual efforts are very important. This is what I was telling our elders also. They have spent decades serving the institutions. 20 hours in a 24-hour day, they'll be serving. Busy firefighting. In such a huge institution with so many kids, somebody will be up to something. You look that side and one fellow is creating trouble. You never know. So your eyes and ears have to be everywhere as teachers and wardens. But they have lived that life for decades working like this. However, because of all the time looking after others, they haven't found enough time to turn inwards and develop their inner core. So this is what I was telling. Now, after 60, you are kind of semi-retired. Half a day you work for the betterment of the institutions through your experience. Another half of the day, please spend in your spiritual sadhana. Read scriptures, go through all the discourses, ask yourself questions, check where you need improvement, and slowly and steadily develop that spiritual strength. That is very important at this age and time because we do not know when time will get over for us. So better early than late. So that is the idea of this spiritual pursuit. One, not everybody develops interest in God because their vasanas, instincts, desires, attachments, past background, their own associations of the past, so many things come in their way to develop interest in God. So not everybody develops interest in God. Second, those who end up in a good place like this or develop the company of good people, there is no guarantee that they will continue forever because some of them may fall off halfway through. They may not continue the pursuit till ever because as you climb the hill, the peak, it gets steeper and steeper. The spiritual path gets more tough as you keep walking. So people give up, saying, "I am good enough, this is good, this much of God is good enough, I don't want to continue my pursuit." And from those who still continue and persist, some one or two finally reach the peak, is what Krishna says. That is for Dwapara Yuga. But I say like this, in Kali Yuga, the bars have been lowered. The threshold has been lowered because God wants more and more people to turn towards God. So what he has done, he has reduced the level of difficulty to much lower. Simply says, keep good company, do good work, you will find God. But do it consistently. You can't do it on Monday being good, Tuesday bad, Wednesday good, Thursday bad. Doesn't work like that. Daily be consistently good. Do good things, good words, good thoughts, good actions. That will take you to God, because good is God. That is my simple definition. If you are good, you become God eventually. No doubt about it. So Kali Yuga is a very opportune time. It's like the cutoff marks have been brought down. So now everybody qualifies. Our NEET PG. No, cutoff mark is 0. I'm like, if you write the exam, you are qualified this year. That's not the way, but what I'm trying to say is that everything has been lowered. Kali Yuga is the best time to cross over. And if you miss this bus now, I don't know when you'll get another opportunity like this. So therefore, don't miss this bus. I must tell you, there was a devotee, she had developed some kind of a disease on the face, hands and everything, and was suffering. So they prayed to me, please cure her of these issues. I looked at her and told, Amma, I can cure you. I will pray, I will bless, and you can be cured. But this is your karma of the past. It will be transferred to the next birth. So this birth you will be okay, next birth you will suffer. She said, no, in that way, if that is the way, then let me suffer now only, because now I have got you. Next birth, I do not know whether you will be there to help me, to guide me, to bless me. So I'll rather go through my sufferings in this birth and finish it because you are with me. I don't know whether another opportunity I'll get in another birth. That was her attitude. She was ready to suffer, not postponing her troubles to another day, because she thought she has found God and good people. Let me go through it right now. That is the attitude of the devotee. That is the attitude of the true spiritual people. That is the attitude of spiritual dhiras, the heroes or sheroes of spirituality. They want to do it now and here. They don't want to wait and postpone for it for another day. They are eager to achieve what they have set out to achieve. And you people should develop that kind of a spiritual stamina to continue on this journey and not give up on halfway because of some difficulties, some obstructions, some obstacles. Or your mind is getting tempted, senses are running either, thither. Therefore, you just give up this pursuit. No, it's not good. It's not good. Continue, prayatno vidaya, continue putting efforts. And as our scriptures say, Swami Vivekananda said, arise, awake and stop not till the goal is reached. Uttishtata, jagrata, prapya, varani bodhata. Do not give up till you have understood the truth. Get up, walk, and continue. So this mission is like that. As I said, this mission is for the sleeping to awaken, for the awakened to arise, for the risen to sit, for the sitting to stand, for the standing to walk, for the walking to run, for the running to reach, and for the reaching to merge. So you have to find where you are fitting in this whole thing. If you are still sleeping, please wake up, because that is the first step you must do. That is why it's Uttishtata Jagrata, wake up, get up, and walk. So that is what, are you progressing, you ask every day. How do you know you are progressing? You have better control on your mind and senses. You don't get dragged by them. You have less temptations and desires for the worldly things. You have more interest in spiritual pursuits. These are the very signs or milestones you will see on the spiritual path. So this spiritual path is for all. I am not made it only for those who are certain castes or certain backgrounds or certain qualifications. No, everybody is qualified to join this spiritual path. But you must keep putting effort. As I said, if you're sleeping, then you have to wake up. If you have woken up, then sit up. If you have sat up, then you stand up. If you stood up, then walk. If you're walking, then run. If you're running, then reach. If you're reaching, merge. But don't simply stay where you are and be satisfied. Spiritual complacency is the most dangerous complacency. When you think you know enough, you have done enough, and that is not right at all. So till you know it, you don't know it. That is how spirituality is. So keep putting efforts. This ashram, these institutions, all this atmosphere is a great opportunity. As I said, it's very difficult for me to explain what great opportunity this is. You have to realize it for yourself. So keep putting efforts. Whatever you do, do it for the sake of God. Do it with the attitude of offering to divine. And that way your day-to-day mundane things, even the act of brushing becomes divine. I asked why you should brush, not because you have to brush, but think with the idea that I am brushing so that my smile is bright, my breath is fresh, and when Swami passes, through the darshan, I can give him a beautiful smile. I can give him a fresh look. So I want to dress up, I want to brush, and I want to, come well groomed. That's all it is. And now Swami is not there, he's in America, so nobody brushes, nobody bathes. No. The idea is that Swami is in everyone. Whosoever you meet, everybody is Narayana. Rahim Das says, यह संसार में सबसे मिलिए धाई, क्या जाने किस रूप में नारायण मिल जाए. So meet everybody with the same enthusiasm as if you are meeting Swami, because you don't know in whom you will find God, because God is in everybody. He can come in any disguise and can trick you. So I am always on alert. Everybody is God, so I better be best presenting myself. So these are the simple ideas how you can make your day-to-day mundane things into divine activities. And continuously if you keep doing that, one day you will get fully magnetized. And once you are fully magnetized, you will have the power to magnetize others also. But some iron pieces are there, highly rusted, full of dust. They need a little cleaning, washing before they can be attracted to magnet. So if you're not getting attracted to divine magnet, not developing interest in spiritual things, not having enough perseverance in the spiritual path, then you have to go and clean up that little rust and dust by being in the good company and putting some self-efforts, You ask yourself, why am I not getting deep interest in God and devotion? Even if I get, why is it only short-lived? Why it is not consistent and always there? And even if I develop consistent, why am I not putting efforts all the time? Why am I not mindful of this opportunity? Ask yourself these questions and find answers within. And the reason would be company, the kind of company you keep. That is the reason why you can't develop interest or develop interest. That all depends on the company. Company does not mean human beings around. What books you read, what kind of thoughts you are entertaining, what are you seeing, watching, touching, smelling, everything is company. So that is why be careful. That is the most important formula. ABC, always be careful. If you always be careful, you will get another ABC, always be cheerful. If you are careful, you will be cheerful. So breathe for next 20 days, put that sadhana, put that efforts, do all that you need to do, but do it with the attitude of doing it for a greater idea of God. And whenever you meet, talk good things. Talk about what we heard in the satsangs, how are we practicing it, how can we help each other in walking on this path, and avoid unnecessary talks and gossips. Whatever work-related talks, no problem. But otherwise, general gossips, what did she wear last day? She was wearing that, I was wearing this, that fellow was talking there, eating. All this is unnecessary talk. It's a total wastage of our divine energy and faculties. So please avoid all that thing. Now, this is the only exception. See, in all other past times, everybody had to go to temple to find God and good company. Here I go country to country, home to home, street to street, searching for devotees, or if they're not devotees, transforming them into one and bringing them and taking them on the spiritual path. And even if they're straying away, again go back and catch them and bring them back onto the spiritual path. This is my job. All the time I keep doing that. And I hope you will continue your practice of whatever you have learned over here, because any teaching is as good as its practice. And therefore practice is most important. Try to practice in your own small way, but be aware, be mindful whether you are practicing or you are not practicing. Okay? Help each other, care for each other, do your duty with love as an offering to God, and everything will be okay. You will find happiness, you will find permanent peace, you will find joy and success in your life. That is given, provided you just follow these basic little things here. Okay? So a lot of blessings. May you be the dhiras who will reach their destination, and may the Bhagavad Gita shloka be changed for Kali Yuga. Then not Kaschit dhira, Sarvam dhiras should become. Everybody is dhira in this institution, all reach God. Let that be.